Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, AppStack. My name is Amanda Nelson, Director of Community Marketing here at Salesforce AppExchange. And joining me today is the amazing, talented, super smart, super fun Geraldine Grey. She's a Salesforce MVP. And today we're going to be talking about two customers' tech stacks and how they use different apps every day. So this is going to be a great webinar. It is recorded. It will be available on our YouTube channel on AppExchange shortly after today's webinar. You can also tweet at use hashtag MyStackRules, and you can also create a stack at allinthestack.com and put it in the chat, and we will try to get to it during this webinar. If not, we will get it to a next webinar and maybe even have you on as a speaker. And that's about it for now. I think I'm done with the housekeeping. I'm going to hand it off to Geraldine to get this webinar started. Geraldine, it's all yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Amanda, and welcome everybody to our AppStack. The goal of today is to share what our customers and partners know about the apps that they use, and to help other people who are attending to see how apps could help solve the same or similar business problems that they have. So first of all, let's talk about the AppStack. If you would like to join in, you can go to, Amanda, there we go, allinthestack.com. You can choose the apps that you're using and you can put together your own stack. If one of the drop-downs does not have a category that is appropriate for your work use case, you can just type that in and then you can build your own stack on the side. We would love to have you. So the first stack we're going to kick off with today, the first app we're going to talk about this morning is Vonage or Vonage. Vonage is a fantastic app if you are looking for a tool that will integrate your voice with Salesforce. I don't mean my voice that has a cold, I mean voice integration telephony. So you can add your Salesforce workflows. Example would be for call logging, for clicking to dial, for creating contacts in cases from a call. You can do this on your desktop, you can do it on your browser, you can do it on your mobile, no install of software, it's all SaaS-based. And then you can have that seamless user experience for your customers and for your support and sales users. That's our first app of the day, so shout out to Vonage. And next we're going to move along to Jackie Traverso. Jackie, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Geraldine. I appreciate the opportunity to participate in the AppStack discussion today. My name is Jackie Traverso. I'm an independent consultant, and I generally work with small and startup businesses with an occasional medium-sized business in the mix. My clients have usually self-implemented, and then they reach out to me for some redesign guidance or to maximize their usage of Salesforce. And I work with both Professional and Enterprise Edition, focusing on the Sales Cloud. I also lead the Charlotte user group. I'm a co-host for the MVP Office Hours US, and I'm a very grateful Salesforce MVP. So if you happen to be in the Charlotte area, look me up and let's meet up for a beverage and chat about Salesforce.
Perfect. And Jackie, how long have you been using Salesforce?
Since 2006, I became an accidental admin.
Wow. Okay. So our next MVP is, our next attendee is Jody. Jody, can you top 2006? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been using Salesforce and what you're doing right now.
So yes, my name is Jody Wagner. I am an engagement manager at Blue Wolf. So what I get to do is stand in between sales and delivery and help kind of pull together that dream of what Salesforce should look like for our clients. A little bit about me, I am the user group leader for the London Women in Tech, as well as the developer user group. Also, as Jackie said, a grateful MVP, and just probably all over the demo jams and all kinds of stuff. And as for how long I've been using Salesforce, 2004. Also an accidental admin.
I feel like we need to have like Salesforce admin bingo because the numbers are getting lower and lower and lower. So as the years go on, we're all getting way more experience. Okay, so thank you, Jody. We're going to come back to your stack. First of all, we're going to take a look at Jackie's stack. So Jackie, let's take a look at your stack.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I want to talk about is actually not on the stack yet because they are currently in the midst of their security review, but should be hitting the AppExchange very soon. So it's elements.cloud. And my use case for them is I always ask my clients to describe their business process. Then I use Elements Cloud to create a process map, which is a visual flow of their process, right? And it allows me to dissect and challenge what the client has described to make sure that we have all of the steps included. I can ask questions that confirm their yes-no paths, and I can challenge their thought process about missing any steps or the what ifs. And it gets them thinking about what their teams actually do step by step. From there, then I can build their Salesforce solution that matches that fleshed out process. And another benefit of using Elements Cloud is that I can layer and connect processes to create an end-to-end picture of everything that is happening. And really what's cool is everything that I've described is free so far. They also have what is called Elements Integration for Salesforce, and you can inventory your org and document everything you need to know so that future enhancements don't become a make a change and cross your fingers that things don't break situation, and it allows you to plan to be effectively scalable. Then you can also link any of your outside documentation to your processes. So if you've got Google Docs or stored PDFs, really anything that has a link, you can reference in your processes. So you can easily access the documents that led to the creation of some of those things, and the goals, the justification, and most importantly, the history, which we all know is so important. So that's my
Okay, so with Elements, I can create documentation that is relevant to my org, that is point in time. I can keep the history on it, and not just document my Salesforce org, but I can actually document my processes all in one place, correct?
All in one place, and it's shareable among admins. The process maps are shareable among other teams so that you can give visibility into it. So you can actually even turn that into training tools.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's Elements, which is it is an app, but it's not yet listed on the AppExchange. So now let's take a look at your data stack. So I'm interested in hearing about SFX org data. Tell me what about this. SF Apex, right? Tell me what this does.
SF Apex, yep. So I have seen 2 demos of SF Apex, and I plan to begin using it next week on a project. And I kid you not, I am literally jumping out of my pants with excitement on using this one. So I have a sandbox that needs to be refreshed, but I don't want to lose the 1,000 parent and multi-level child records that I have in that particular sandbox. So you can quickly and easily and accurately populate your sandbox with data from another sandbox or a production org so that you can then accurately test and develop faster using specific records that meet your testing criteria. And you don't have to write scripts or try to match thousands of record IDs in Excel. This tool will pull in all of the child records that you need for your particular project. You just have to decide what you want to migrate. And they're coming out.
So my question was going to be, okay, so if I'm an admin or I'm a developer and we don't have a full sandbox, which a lot of companies don't because they can be kind of pricey, I can use FX Apex to replicate my data with parent-child relationships instead of having a full sandbox.
Exactly, and it'll give you a diagram. Think of like a spaghetti diagram to go out and look at all the different types of records that you have within Salesforce and then grab all of the ones that you need to build out your scenario.
Fantastic. Okay, so then tell me a little bit about the Data Loader IO and why it's your favorite tool. Because if you're going to have FX Apex, what would my use case still be for the Data Loader?
So the Data Loader IO I would use simply for list loads. And one of the things that I would point out is I had mentioned previously that I work with professional orgs. Not many AppExchange apps work with Professional Edition because we don't have the capability of the APIs. Data Loader IO is a standalone product that can connect to your Salesforce, and I can just do my list loads that way.
Wow, okay, I had no idea that was a use case for it. I just assumed you don't have access to the API. You kind of out of luck.
This one has been a lifesaver when it comes to trying to load lists into Professional Edition.
Fantastic. Okay, so now can we spend a couple of minutes talking about your sales stack? So you have Nintex Draw Loop plus DocuSign, and then you have two Conga Composer tools or Conga contract tools. What's the difference between each of those? When would you use one instead of the other, and what do they do?
Okay, so let's start with the Nintex document generator, also known as Draw Loop and Conga contracts. So with this, the use case is that both of these tools allow you to create a shell document and then use logic to insert dynamic language based on data in your Salesforce. So for example, I have one shell document, a contract, with 200 possible scenarios. And next week, I'll be replicating that same project in Spanish. So then I will end up with a Spanish version of my shell and another 200 possible versions. And both of these will interface with DocuSign so that I can track the life cycle of my document, gather my signatures and my date stamps.
Wow, okay.
And then the Conga Composer, this one, I think probably a lot of people know about Conga Composer, but they might not think out of the typical scenario of creating your Word templates, your PowerPoint templates, maybe your PDFs or your Excel templates. So I have a client, or I had a client, who would spend 6 hours every single Monday generating the same sales and marketing report analytics. And we implemented Conga Composer to pull records beyond the standard 4-child relationship into Excel. We added a multi-step macro and got this process down from, again, 6 hours every single Monday to 2 clicks and 90 seconds. So that savings was huge, a huge win for everybody. It does take a little, yeah, it was huge, absolutely. And it does take a little bit of investment on the front end to learn the formulas and the recipes to extract what it is that you're looking for out of Conga Composer. However, they have absolutely fantastic customer service. And their rule is if you can't figure it out in 15 minutes, call them and they'll help you through it. And I absolutely love that about their customer service.
I can vouch for that. We've got stuck with Conga, and it can be a little bit tricky when you're first learning how to use it. And so you just give them a call and they're going to pick up the phone and take care of all your questions and teach you to fish so that you'll be more self-sufficient and you'll be less likely to call them the next time. They're very, very helpful. Great team. So, and probably one of the longest, I think probably one of the longest apps on the AppExchange. They've been there a way long time. Okay, so thank you. We will come back to, I have some questions. So we'll come back to some more questions about your apps later on. But something to think about while I talk to Jody. If you could have any app paid or free, or if you could invent an app, what would that be? Think about that, and then we'll come back at the end. I'm going to ask you that same question. Thank you, Jackie. Okay, Jody. While I tee up for Jody, let me just mention to you about Workato. So the goal of our session today is to cram in as much information as we can about apps as possible. So Workato, if you don't already have it, this is absolutely positively an app that you need. It has a free and paid model. It allows you to do if this, then that with Salesforce and across multiple apps. So for example, you can integrate it with surveys, you can integrate it to get your NPS score, you can send intelligent responses with workbots through Salesforce. You can use it for your data updates. So if you have data that you're putting in a Google Doc or 365, you can, when you update that data, you can have it go push it into Salesforce, or you can go push it out of Salesforce. And so it does bidirectional integrations on many, many apps. I think there's over 1,000 apps. You can take a look at it. It really helps you build an integration without being an integration engineer. So if you can think it and you can map it out and you can write up what you want to do, you can use Workato to help do that integration for you. Okay, so Jody.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, Jody, remind us again. So you're an engagement manager at Salesforce. So, sorry, engagement manager at Blue Wolf. Tell me a little about kind of the challenges that you come across, and then let's take a look at your stack and see how your stack would solve for some of those challenges.
So as an engagement manager, what I do is talk to a lot of clients as they're trying to either bring Salesforce into their organization or they want to extend out Salesforce. They have Sales Cloud, they want to move to Service Cloud. And we do a lot of talking to AppExchange partners, because there's just things that we think it's better to buy an off-the-shelf package for, as opposed to trying to configure within Salesforce. So there's tons of different apps that we talk to customers about to try to help them extend out their implementation.
Okay, so let's take a look at your dream stack and tell me how this is going to solve all of your problems.
So I don't think it's going to solve all of my problems, but it does solve a good portion of them. One of the apps that I'm really, really loving is Option Tracker. And when I work with clients, I end up putting this in everyone's org, because it's really important to measure if people are actually in your Salesforce org. If they're able to log in, there's like the wall of shame to see people who are not logging in. It just gives you that real-time feedback, because you want to know if people are actually using the system. And it has pre-made dashboards, so you can take a peek at that. You can also see who's logging into the system. So if you find that more admins are logging in as opposed to maybe salespeople, then you can try to correct behaviors based off of this free package and the data that comes with it.
Okay, and then tell me about the gamification that goes with adoption.
Okay, so Sumo Motivate is a really cool app.
Yeah, I've never heard of this until you told me about it. Let's tell everyone what it does.
So what it does, so Sumo actually has a few different products, but we're going to focus on Sumo Motivate. And what it does is it actually helps guide your sales users through the selling process. So, you know, it helps, and salespeople tend to not want to usually use a system. So this is to try to get people into Salesforce, trying to get them to follow your predefined sales process. And the way it does that is by rewarding behaviors through gamification. So there's leaderboards, and there's all different types of like dashboards where you can see how effective people are. Are they logging their tasks and activities? Are they doing the right things that you want them to do that aligns with your sales process? The other thing that it does is you can see where maybe people are not doing the things that they need to do to follow the sales process. Maybe they're forgetting a follow-up, or they're forgetting to kind of adhere to that process, and it lets you see that and give real-time feedback to help coach salespeople. And
how does that then flow into your project management and resource planning tools?
So the way,
and what is the difference? When would you use the resource planning versus using the task feed?
Okay, absolutely. So the way that the gamification piece flows into project management and resource planning is that without sales, we wouldn't have anything to implement. So for project management, what task feed does well is it has the Kanban solution, so you can actually see, you know, the way I really like to use it is if I'm using it for managed services and we're using cases to take managed service requests in. Some of those may be break fix and they directly can be fixed on the case, but in the instance where you might be using managed services for more innovative type projects and actually starting to do some smaller efforts, you can use task feed to have the whole project management view, similar to like a Trello, but it's right in Salesforce, and you can use tasks and activities, etc. And it's natively built in Salesforce. Task feed also has a few other products, but I just wanted to focus on the project management. It's really the collaboration aspect around it.
So one of the things I like especially about task feed is that you can create an external link that you can then share with people who don't have Salesforce licenses, and so you can use that for them to see where you are in the project. So they don't necessarily have to be Salesforce users to be able to view the data that TaskFeed is generating.
Absolutely, and that's why it's really helpful, especially like in the managed services context where you may want to share with your customer where you are in the particular cycle.
Okay, and then so my last question is, tell us about DocuSign. I'm hoping that your favorite use case for DocuSign contracts is the same as my favorite, but let's see if you can knock that one off.
DocuSign, well, everybody's favorite use case is it shortens the sales cycle, right? You have your contract, send it out, and you can get that signature right away. And also, if you're using it natively within Salesforce, you can merge data from any object onto the contract and store it directly in Salesforce. Everybody likes speeding up the sales cycle.
So what I also like about DocuSign integration is that when you send your contract out of Salesforce with your data and metadata tags, then when the customer signs it, it can update back into Salesforce. And then you're probably cleverer than me. You probably have it update your contract in Salesforce and automatically create your task view board. I'm just guessing.
Or maybe a nice big deal alert.
Nice big deal. That'd be good too. Okay. So JD, thank you. My question is going to be the same that I gave to Jackie earlier, which is think about if you could have any app that was paid or free, or maybe you could invent one for yourself. Think about what that would be. And we're going to jump over to our next app with a shout out to the Security and Access Manager. Okay, I had never heard about this app until this week, but I think I'm going to have to get it. Yes, it is paid, but this just kind of does your job for you. So it makes your security reviews really easy. You can pinpoint why a user does not have access to an app, or if you're doing security penetration, you could also pinpoint why a user does have access to an app, to a record that they shouldn't have access to. It goes down from objects to records to fields, so you can be very definite in what it is that you're looking for or what you're troubleshooting for. And the cost is only for an admin, so you don't have. It's not a kind of app where everybody has to have a copy of it. You just need your admin to have a copy for it. So this is just, I mean, it's just money in the bank right there. So let's go back to our attendees. My speakers. And Jackie, you had a little time to think. Tell me, what would you like to invent, or what would you buy from the AppExchange if money was no problem?
Well, because I like to live in a world of rainbows and unicorns, I want a magic button that allows any professional edition org to have access to every single app on the AppExchange without additional fee or frustration. I just want everybody to get everything. That's what I want, a magic button.
Okay, so you want magic button for API access with no incurred cost. Yep. Okay, that truly is a magic button. I think you might be waiting a little while for that one.
Now, you didn't ask me for a real request, but that's what I wanted in my rainbows and unicorns world. So thank you.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really nice idea. It is a challenge when you don't have API access. Although Salesforce has made it easier and much cheaper for people who maybe do have professional edition, they can bolt on API access. So it's an option, but yeah, it's a consideration. Jody, tell me, if you could have any app paid or free, or if you could invent one, what would it be?
So that made me think for quite a while, but I think I would invent my own app, and it would be an efficiency tracker. So I could see how long it takes for my users to create a record, and what that would actually do is kind of help you measure how many people you need from a processing perspective. So it would feed into like time and motion and staff modeling. And I probably just gave somebody a great idea.
I'll bet you that the UX team, when they're doing participant research, I bet you that's something that they do. They track the eye, like the eye tracker, and they'll track how long you spend on each record, or how long it takes in between clicks. And then they probably turn that into how to make it easier or more efficient for people to use Salesforce. But you want your own version of that same tool.
My own version, because I need to see like how long it would take, because then you need to see like if you're, so from like think call center, like how long, what's the average time on the call, the average handling time, and trying to figure out like based off of X amount of calls, how many people you would need to staff a call center.
Nice. Okay. All right. So now I have another question for you, Jody. We met last week at TDX, and you gave a really, really handy idea about recording training. Can you just talk a little bit about what you do when you're doing training? Because this was, I might sound like an idiot, but this was revolutionary for me.
Yes. So when I am delivering training or a demo and I'm afraid that either the Wi-Fi is not going to work, the internet's going to be against me, somebody on the dev team might have moved a button, what I end up doing is I record with QuickTime my screen through all the clicks, and as I'm recording it, I will say my talk track along with it so I get the timings, but I don't actually record my voice. So then when I'm delivering the demo or the training, I just hit play, and you can see all the clicking and the typing, and it looks like I'm doing it, but I'm actually just focusing on what I have to say.
Okay, sorry, say that again?
I was told that I'm cheating when I'm doing that, but I don't like to leave things to chance.
So I think it's brilliant for those of us who have to do a lot of demos. I'm sure Jackie can agree. Like for those of us that have to do a lot of demos to customers, record everything without the demo demons. Keep a log of the point in time that you are for each piece of the demo, and then you're not clicking around in front of the trainees, and then, oh, okay, that's not supposed to happen, because you're going to get rid of all those blips beforehand.
I absolutely love that. That is brilliant.
Isn't it? Okay, it's nothing to do with AppExchange, but it's a brilliant idea. I'm sorry, I'm kind of ashamed that it's taken me so long to
Just don't do it during a demo jam. It's not allowed.
No pre-recorded demo jam, that's for sure. So, okay, we have a couple of questions that came in. Jackie or Jody, either of you maybe could answer this. Do you know a tool on the AppExchange that does dynamic account territory alignment? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you guys. So when an account comes in, I want to automatically assign it to the right person.
I don't, but I want to learn more.
Jody, you want to take a stab at that one?
Actually, I don't. I've done enough territory management that I try to stay away from it sometimes. Yeah,
it's a scary place. So there isn't a tool that does it really easily. You could take one of the round robin tools. There's a couple of round robin like assignment tools. You could take that, and if it's not in a managed package, you could edit the code and make it work for assigning your accounts. There's also a tool called DataFox, which does a lot of data enhancement and massaging and gives you a lot more information and insights into companies that you're working with. And you could build something on top of DataFox, but we've actually done this for customers, and there is no easy way to say that when a lead comes in and the name of the lead is, for example, Apple, to automatically assign that lead to the right person who's in charge of the Apple account. And the reason is because the matching is endless, is infinite. And then say you have, somebody that comes in from GE, are they GE or are they General Electric? It's really, really hard to match these up. There's companies that are trying to do it, but there's nothing that's doing it brilliantly right now. So I'm sorry, nobody wins on that one, but let's see if they can. Okay, so we have 2 minutes. Jackie, I have a question for you. Again, not related to the AppExchange, but tell us about the MVP office hours. What are they? How do I find out about them? What do they do? Tell me a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad that you asked about that. So MVP Office Hours US, so we've got a couple different, we have some global happenings going on where we're expanding. But MVP Office Hours US generally is held the first and third Friday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on the Trailblazer community, and you can find us on Twitter with the same names. And it's an open Q&A session. So we all get on the line and we talk about questions that people have. And as a group, this has really morphed into a group sourcing activity. So somebody will ask a question and then everybody will start chiming in with, well, here's the experience that I had, and here's some information that I found, and oh, I just found a link, let me share that in the chat. So it's really an open dialogue, collaborative opportunity, and the subjects are endless.
So I've got questions, you've got answers.
Or we've got resources, or we've got suggestions, or we can make references or give you names of people that we know have been working on something similar. And then so we make connections.
Fantastic. Okay, so I go on the Trailblazer community, I search for MVP office hours. I'm going to find one in probably in my local time zone. I'm going to be able to come with my problems and get a bunch of answers from experts who've been there and done it, or you're going to be able to refer me out to someone who is maybe working on a similar project.
Exactly. So we've got MVP office hours US, Portuguese, APAC, and EMEA. We also have a private channel, which is very interesting. It's for the Salesforce student beta program at all of the different colleges that have kind of under this umbrella, this pilot program that they're running. So we also have MVP office hours for them to help them with career pathing, helping them with Trailblazer or Trailhead, anything that they need help with.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Jody, thank you for joining us as well. I'm going to hand back over to Amanda, and she's going to do a quick wrap up for today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. That was great. I learned so much. I was taking some notes too, and it's really a great experience to hear from diverse customers about their experiences with apps, how they use apps, and the different ways they're working with the community. Now, if you want to be a part of this webinar, definitely check out allinthestack.com. You could build your stack, tweet it out, share it with us, and you will be considered to be a speaker for a future webinar. We do this every month, the first Wednesday of each month. Our next webinar is May 2nd, followed by June 6th. And then we're taking July 4th off. We will be back on August 1st. So if you have an app and you'd like to be featured, definitely tell your customers about this, because they could make a stack and be the next speaker too. So plenty of options, whether you are an app builder or you are a Salesforce customer. Thank you, Jody, Jackie, and Geraldine for being a part of today's webinar. We had so much fun listening to everything you had to say and are really inspired by your stories. And join us next time, same place next month, and we will see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.